Winnie the Pooh, A Portrait of Friendship. Written by Thea Feldman, illustrated by the Disney storybook artists, and Piglet. Piglet painted pictures of everything in the 100-acre wood. He painted the tall leafy trees and the bright yellow sun, and flowers of every size and color. One day, Piglet decided he wanted to paint what he loved best of all in the wood, his friends. Piglet asked Pooh, Rabbit, Tigger, Kangaroo, Owl, Eeyore, and Christopher Robin if they would sit for a portrait. "Why, Piglet, I'd be honored," said Pooh. Everyone else felt the same way. The next day, Piglet set up his studio outside in the sunshine. He was ready to begin with Pooh. Piglet soon saw Pooh heading his way. "Hello, Piglet," Pooh called out, but he didn't stop. "Pooh, wait," cried Piglet, running after his friend. "Where are you going? It's time to sit for your portrait." "Oh dear," Pooh stopped walking. "Oh, is that now?" he asked, a little bewildered. "I thought it was time to fill up my honey pot and my tummy." Pooh gave his tummy a pat and looked at Piglet. Pooh didn't want to let down his friend. "All right, Piglet," he said. "You can paint my picture now. I'm sure my tummy can wait," he added, though he was not at all certain. "Now try to sit still, Pooh," Piglet said. Pooh did, but his tummy did not. It rumbled to the left and it rumbled to the right. Finally, Pooh's tummy rumbled him up onto his feet. Rumble, rumble. "Sorry, Piglet, but perhaps now is not a good time to sit still after all," said Pooh as he picked up his honey pot and followed his tummy. Oh! Piglet tried painting Rabbit next. He worked for a few minutes, then gave Rabbit a bunch of carrots to hold. "These remind me of my garden," said Rabbit, jumping up. "And my garden reminds me that I have work to do. I'm sorry, Piglet, but we'll have to finish another time." Rabbit hurried off. Tigger had no trouble with Piglet painting his picture. The trouble was all Piglet's, since Tigger couldn't stop bouncing with excitement. "Sorry, Piglet, but bouncing is what Tiggers do best," Tigger cried. While Piglet waited for Tigger to stop bouncing, Kangaroo arrived. They were excited to have their family portrait painted by Piglet. But Tigger was so excited to see Roo, he snatched up his little buddy and the two bounced off into the wood. Kanga proved to be good at sitting still for a little while. But before Piglet could finish, she suddenly gasped and jumped up. "Oh dear, I must go and take my cupcakes out of the oven," she said. Before leaving, she looked at what Piglet had done so far. "Why, that's lovely, dear. We will finish it soon, I promise." Piglet was about to begin Owl's portrait when a note arrived for Piglet from Christopher Robin. It was good timing since Piglet needed Owl to read the note to him. "It appears that Christopher Robin's portrait will have to wait," Owl said after reading the note. "His young cousins are visiting with his family." The mention of Christopher Robin's family reminded Owl of all the research he still had to do in order to finish his own family history. He flew off at once. Piglet had much better luck with Eeyore, who sat as still and as gray as a rock. "Eeyore, yours is the only portrait I've been able to finish," said Piglet. That's too bad, said Eeyore. Everyone else had too much to do, said Piglet. I'm just doing what I always do, too. Not much, said Eeyore. Then he lumbered off to do not much somewhere else. Piglet thought for a moment. That's it, he cried. I need to paint my friends doing what they always do. Piglet packed up his art supplies and went to find Pooh. He painted Pooh following a bee. Then he painted several bees following Pooh. Piglet especially liked the painting he did of Pooh finally getting a smackerel of honey. Piglet went to Rabbit's garden next. Instead of asking Rabbit to stay still, he stood and painted while his subject moved about in his garden. He painted several wonderful scenes of Rabbit at work. Piglet painted Owl writing in his home library. Owl looked very deep in thought and rather intelligent. As for Tigger, it gave Piglet a bit of a headache to follow his bouncing with his eyes, but he finally managed to paint Tigger's portrait. At Conga and Rue's house, Piglet started a new painting, this one with the two of them together. Oh dear, said Piglet. He sniffed his paintbrush. I believe I've dipped my paintbrush into the icing. It turned out to be a very cozy and yummy picture. Piglet couldn't wait to show everyone his portraits. He invited his friends to view them. Pooh and the others walked around and looked at one painting after another. They were very silent, which was unusual. Piglet began to worry. Did his friends not like his artwork? Finally, Pooh cleared his throat. I'd like to say how wonderful your paintings are, Piglet. Then he looked thoughtful. I'd also like to apologize. Whatever for, Pooh? Asked Piglet. For saying I'd sit still for you and then, well, not sitting still, said Pooh sheepishly. Everyone else agreed with Pooh. Everyone except Eeyore. Thank you, Piglet said, but sitting still isn't what anybody does best. He looked at Eeyore. Except Eeyore. That is. Piglet continued. Everyone is good at something different. My paintings show you all doing the something you love best. And they will always remind me, he added, of how lucky I am to have so many unique and wonderful friends. That's right, Piglet, said Pooh. So here's to each and every one of our one-of-a-kind friends. The end.